we are going to study 9th standard science, and today our topic is thrust and pressure. Right? Let's see what is it. So, have you ever wondered that how camel walks on the loose surface of the sand? Have you ever wondered that how 1,000 tons of a tank rely on a continuous chain? Have you ever wondered that why all the cutting tools have so sharp edges? Have you ever wondered that why trucks and buses have a wider tire than a bicycle? So to address these questions, we have to go through the concepts which it includes. Right? The concepts is thrust and pressure. Let's see what is thrust and pressure. Right? Okay. So the force that is into particular direction, right? Force into the particular direction, it is called the thrust. Right? Thrust. And the force that is on a per unit area, that is called pressure. So force into a particular direction, that is called thrust, and force on per unit area, that is pressure. Right? So let's see and understand more of these two concepts on the basis of two situations. Okay, that's it. So here we are going to learn about two situations. Let's see what are they. Okay, let's see first situation. First situation is when we want to apply a poster on a drawing board, right? So how do we apply our poster on a drawing board? With the help of drawing pins, right? Just like this. So this is the board and this is our poster. What do we do? On the ending corner, we will apply a drawing pin. How do that work? Right? Suppose that this is the surface of the board, right? And this is kind of pin, right? So what happens that when we want to apply the pressure on the head of the pin, because the pressure which is applying on the smaller area of the pin, what will happen that this sharp end of this pin will penetrate the surface of the board, right? So what will happen that if we apply force which is perpendicular to the surface, it will penetrate the area, right? So the pin will go inside the surface of the board, right? This situation second. Let's see what is the situation second. So second situation is when you stand on the loose surface of the sand, right? Let's see. So this is the surface which has sand. What will happen if a person wants to stand on the surface of the sand, which is a loose surface, right? So what will happen when you stand is that, because what happens, weight, we know that we have already done that what is weight, it is a force, right, which is occurring downwards, vertically downwards, right, which is also perpendicular to the surface, right? So all this force which is applied by our weight on the loose surface of the sand, it is perpendicular to the surface but vertically downwards, right? Exactly. And what will happen that if a person which is lying down, right, here, so what will happen? The force which is applied by the single person, here is the same person which is lying down over here. So the force between these two applied by the weight of them is same, but what will happen? Because he is standing vertical, so the force that is applied by him on the loose surface of the sand is vertically downwards on a small area, which is his feet, right? Because the force is applied on a small area, the force is more, just like over here. But what will happen if he lies down on the surface of the sand? Because he lied down, the force is the same, but area on which the force is acting, that increased, right? So what happens when the area increases? Force is the same, but whatever the pressure was applying on the surfaces, when he is lying down, the pressure divided, right? Because here the force by his weight was applying on the smaller area. That is why pressure generated on the smaller area. That is why he was going down and down. Right? But what happens when he lies on the loose surface of the sand? Because now the force is on, he will not penetrate more surface of the sand. Right? So by all these situations, by these two situations, what do we learn? We learn is that when the force is applied on to the perpendicular to the surface, that is called thrust. Right? Just like this, when we applied force perpendicular to the surface of the board, that was thrust. The effect of thrust, it depends upon whatever the surface it is applied on. When the thrust is applied on a smaller area, the effect of thrust is more. When it is applied on a larger area, the effect of thrust is less, right? So it also depends upon the area, right? So the thrust that is applied on a unit area, that is called a pressure, right? Here we are getting the second, which is pressure, right? The second concept that which was our second concept, that is pressure. What is pressure? The thrust applied on a unit area. यानी कितनी एरिया पे thrust लगेगा, that is called the pressure, right? यानी कि if the thrust is applied on a smaller area, the effect is always increased, यानी कि बहुत ज़्यादा होगा. But if the thrust is applied on a larger area, the effect of thrust is less. That is called pressure. यानी कि प्रेशर क्या है? एक यूनिट एरिया में लगने वाला thrust. That is called the pressure. Now, if we want to derive out the unit, SI unit of pressure, because what is pressure? It is also the force, यानी कि न्यूटन, और पर एरिया में है. That is why per meter square, right? Per meter square. Newton per meter square. That is SI unit of pressure. But on the honor of a scientist named Pascal, we also have the unit of Pascal, which is of pressure. The unit of pressure is also called the Pascal, which is denoted as PA, right?